Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines. I hope you're all doing okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off this episode with me showing you what I have changed in between episodes. So there's not been a massive deal, guys, to be honest. So what I've done is I've kind of expanded our residential zoning out this way with some nice new houses. We've got a nice little pub here, the Black Horse just in there. And what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to start filling in this area here, which is going to be a lovely park. So I've kind of done this little entrance here, got this little park pavilion building with like a little bike shelter outside, park maintenance lorry just here with a little small car park, and then we're using the vanilla base game park entrance here. So it's going to come in here and they will start filling in this park area. So that's basically it. Obviously last time we were doing our industrial park over here. I've added a few more bits here, like a few parking spaces, just some foliage here. I think I've popped down like some pavements in here, and I've kind of done this little area just in here. Oh, and I've added in our Citroen garage, our Citroen car dealership. I didn't have many Citroen cars, so that's just it's random cars. Again, some parking spaces just in here. Needs a little bit more work in here. Need to spend a little bit more time doing like some foliage, kind of just filling out these areas here, these blank grass areas, just filling those out with a few bits and bobs. So that's kind of it, guys. I don't want to bore you too much with kind of what's going on. I think it's time that we get stuck in to building out our park area over here. So without further ado, let's get stuck in with our park. So this takes me a while to kind of get right, guys. What I've done is I off camera built that little park pavilion building, I think it's called, and a little car park next to it. I really wanted to get a park in here. I had a few ideas of what I wanted to include in that park. Like I really wanted some kind of football pitch, something like that. The parks where I grew up in England, and I still live in England, so they're quite simple parks. There's nothing fancy to them. Obviously there are parks, for example, in London and other places around the UK which are a little bit more fancy, if that's the right word, but I wanted this to kind of look quite simple. It's a small town, nothing too crazy is really going on here, so I wanted kind of like a small football pitch, a little playground area, and then just using the path with the benches, the lampposts and the bins. Really simple, but please let me know what you think of it, okay? I want this series to be kind of start off with my ideas and the things that I've kind of come up with, but then I really want to hear your comments and hopefully your positive feedback. So really look forward to hearing about your feedback on this. Let me know if you think that it's not quite realistic, or if you think anything should be added. Obviously I can only add stuff that's on the workshop because my computer crashes every time I try and use the asset creator. But let me know if you think anything needs to be added or changed or removed. Just let me know, guys, yeah, and if I agree, then we will do it. So what I've done is I've actually placed down I think it's called the manicured grass decal, and that's the grass decal that we're using for the football pitch, and it's kind of like a really obvious mown area of grass, and I quite like that because it stands out, and again it's quite accurate for a football pitch. A football pitch, they're normally well maintained, and then we've got this little like shed building over there which I thought we could use as like changing rooms and like a little storage shed for balls, goals, nets, corner flags, all that kind of football stuff, some training goals, training stuff, all that kind of stuff. And then we've got this little white post fence going around the edge of the football pitch, which again I really like, and it's really common in the UK. There's kind of like white, it's normally like a plastic, I think it's like a plastic barrier, so I really liked that. And then we've got the standard vanilla in-game fence going around the actual park itself. And I spent quite a lot of time building the car park and stuff, and I really wanted that to look right. And then what we're doing here is we're adding the other entrance to the park. So there's going to be 3 entrances actually in the end, and then this is a park restroom, like a high street public toilet building, which I thought looked really cool. And again, that's quite common in the UK to find those kind of public toilets quite close to parks, park entrances. those kind of areas. So we're just kind of sorting out the path here. I actually put some things into the park, but then I cut the time lapse about now. Yeah, so I actually cut the time lapse there, and I hated it. I put in the vanilla playground and a few bits, and I just hated it. I was going to build a courtyard up here, but again, it just didn't look right. So what we actually do is we add like a small square area. We do it ourselves, a small square area, and we actually put in a few playground props into there. And then what I need to do is I need to use I think it's called the PPG mod, which adds people, like a people generator. So I need to use that mod, if I remember, just to pop in a few spots, especially like in that playground area, just so we can have a few citizens walking around, trying to play on the equipment, that kind of stuff. And then again, I was just trying to make this triangle look good, and it was difficult. So that triangle is really difficult, but here you will see us starting to build out this little playground area. We pop in some nice hedges around it, we get in some slides, some swings, that kind of stuff. I think we get a few benches. Like I said, it's going to be really simple. Yeah, these parks in real life in the UK are very simple. There's nothing fancy about them. I kind of wanted to replicate that, so that's kind of what we do. And then here it's like this truck is a park maintenance truck, and I thought it looked quite cool. I quite liked that, so I added a few of them around the park. We have one here, we have one in the car park. Just sorting out the hedges here with Move It, just to make sure that it all looks square and lined up. And then again, I was trying to find some decals that we could put down here just to make it look used and kind of realistic. But again, I just couldn't find anything that looked good. So please feel free to comment down below with any suggestions if you know any mods that could help out for this series. So here what we're doing is we're popping in a basketball court. Now, I think you could say to me, what the hell are you doing? I've never seen a basketball court in a UK park, and it depends where you're from. It's quite common in London, and where I went to university, we had a park that had a basketball court in the park. So I wanted to add that because A, it looks cool, and I personally think it's realistic to some parks. I'm not saying that every park has a basketball court, but some do. So then just kind of filling out this area with trees, shrubs, bushes. Again guys, I don't know why. I seem to not be very good at plopping down trees. Other people are so much better at it than me. I think we can remove all of them in the end. I just can't get it to look right. I think I need to get the right trees. I think that might be my problem. It's just trying to get the right trees in. So I think I spent a little bit of time here just to try and get the right trees in. But it takes a while. I just can't quite get it to look right. So if you have any tips or anything, again, just let me know down below in the comments section. So I think we'll give it another go here, just to try and make it look a little bit more realistic and not quite so busy and crazy in here. Which in the end I was pretty happy with actually. So a little bit of time, and I think that's what it needs. It needs time, just to make it look right. You know, feel free to delete things, start again. And that's normally how you get it to look a little bit better. So doing the same thing here, we've got a little bit of blank space here. I don't put anything in there in the end, I don't think. So again, let me know what you think for the next episode. You can see here that all of my industrial park buildings, bar a few, have been deleted. That's because we have a very common theme of not enough workers in our city. So I'm just going to leave that for a bit. I have downloaded now the No Abandonment mod. Lots of reviews say it doesn't work anymore, but I'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. So I really wanted to try and focus on getting more housing. So we've kind of created this little area here. There's a couple of pubs here, and this is kind of like this is one of the entrances to the park. You can see the Ocado van and the ice cream van in the top right hand corner. That's one of the entrances to the park. So I just wanted to add a lot more housing to this area. As you can see, we add a little Sainsbury's local that I think we swap out for a better Sainsbury's local, one that looks a little bit better. And we're just trying to find lots of houses that just kind of fitting this area, making sure the gardens look quite nice, look realistic. We had another pub here. It's very common in the UK to find pubs very, very close together. So we've got a couple of pubs here in quite close proximity, but that's actually quite realistic. It's quite strange. Where I actually grew up, there are literally two pubs, I reckon 50 metres away from each other. So it's quite common in the UK. I suppose public houses were very common a few decades ago, and you know, obviously they're trying to survive, really, aren't they? Pubs at the moment, they are trying to survive. So again here, just getting some more houses, just basically trying to fill in gaps. I think that seems to be a lot of work that I kind of do off camera, is just trying to fill in gaps, and trying to fill in gaps with realistic stuff. You know, that's kind of the difficult part, is to fill in these gaps but make it look realistic whilst we do so. So here we're just kind of filling in a few gaps like hedges and bushes, and then we actually add like a really old kind of like Tudor style, I believe, Tudor style house. This one just here. And some houses that I have, a lot of the houses which are created by Rick 4000, which are amazing and they're so detailed. One of the issues, which is not an issue, it's an issue for me, is a lot of them are just a house. So you have to create the gardens yourselves. And that for me takes a lot of time, and I find it difficult, you know, I do find it challenging to make the gardens look realistic. But they're perfect, these houses, to fit in these small gaps where it's just blank space. So what we're doing here is we pop in this kind of Tudor style building, and then we just put a few fences either side, and we just fill it out with a shed. I think we put in a few deck chairs, and you know what, guys, it does not look too bad at all. I'm pretty happy with it, actually. So you can see here we pop in a hedge, pop in a few bins, and then we pop in the shed and a couple of deck chairs. So then it does mean that we have this blank space here, that again, just not sure what to do with this space. So please feel free to comment down below with any suggestions of what you'd like to see us use to fill in those spaces. So as you can see here, we're popping in another road, just so we can get in as much housing as we possibly can. So we're just using a real mix of kind of the semi-detached houses I believe are made by McWelshman, these terraced houses, just like a really nice mix. I think that's when it looks the best, is when it's kind of like a large mix of houses. You've got your semi-detached, you've got your detached, and you've got your terraced houses. So I think that again is quite realistic here in the UK. You know, it's quite rare, I think, that you have large areas with the same house. So I want it to look quite varied, and I think that's what looks best. But again, please feel free to comment down below if you disagree with me. So we have extended the bus lines in the meantime. So I've popped in a few more stops for we've got one bus line at the moment, so nothing too crazy. But I did just pop in a couple of extra stops just so we can really try and make it easy for people to get around our small town, which in turn should help with, again, the no worker issue. The Sainsbury's doesn't help. I think the Sainsbury's has something like 120 job vacancies. And I think we fill about 20, so it's just because it's such a big asset, and it, you know, in real life, I think that's quite a realistic number of people that would work at that kind of building. Again, please feel free to correct me. And we don't have that many people. You know, you can see here our population as it stands at this moment in the game is 562 citizens. So, you know, we really need to make sure, you know, that population is built from children, adults, young adults, elderly, OAPs, you know, so that's not just a working group of citizens, that's children and the retired. So thank you to Nigel for recommending this crematorium, which is from the workshop. I really like this. So what I've actually done is the crematorium that we had, the vanilla crematorium, we've removed that, we've popped in a nice pub layer, and we've obviously used the courtyard outside as a pub courtyard. And then what we're doing here is we're popping in this crematorium, and next door to it we're going to use a church. I think it's actually based on a church from the Isle of Wight, I believe. So what we're actually doing is we're going to pop in that small church, and then we pop in a few of the the gravestones, the cemetery blocks around this church. So we move these around, we delete one, we pop in the small church in here. And then again, guys, I can't quite get the foliage right here, I don't know. I feel I'm gonna have to spend some time off camera practicing my trees, bushes, shrubs and flowers. I just can't quite get them to look how I want to. That's annoying me, because I feel like I can kind of make buildings, industrial parks, car parks, you know, fire stations, police stations look how I want them to look. But I'm just struggling a little bit with making the foliage look realistic. So feel free to comment down below if you've got any suggestions, or if I'm not using the right trees, you know, am I using the wrong type of trees? Just let me know. I might, you know, I'll check everything out. I might not download everything that you guys suggest, but I promise I will check everything out. So here again, just trying to find some decals, something to make this look a little bit more realistic, this kind of cemetery area. Again, but it's just quite difficult. You know, this grass doesn't really fit in. So just trying to spend a little bit of time just trying to make this look as realistic as possible. Hello everybody, I really hope you enjoyed the time lapse. What a interesting episode this has been. Unfortunately, you can see over here that our industrial buildings have disappeared. This is because we did have the no worker problem. What we'll do is we'll try and get them in a later episode. It was just too many jobs really for the area. I have now downloaded the no abandonment mod. There were a few reviews to say that it wasn't working, so we'll see how that goes, because for some reason this warehouse here and this garage does sometimes disappear. So we'll see how that goes, but hopefully that's now fixed and we can get these buildings in over here. I'd like to try and get rid of that smog if possible. I really don't like the smog. I understand that around these industrial areas you have a little bit more pollution and stuff, but I think that's a little bit too much there. So in this episode we've really expanded our residential zoning with these lovely terrace houses. We got in our lovely little old house here. I was quite happy with that. Not too sure what we want to pop in here in this little blank space here. We might put in some pavement or some bushes maybe. Or I could try and find some more older houses. Then we've kind of expanded out into this area here. Again, really happy how this turned out, like a couple of pubs. That is a common theme in the UK. You get pubs very close to each other, which is quite strange actually. Over here we put in the new crematorium, so thank you very much to Nigel who recommended that crematorium there. And we also got in like a small church. Again, I wasn't ecstatic over this, over like how this looks here, but I'm pretty happy with it. And I've just added a little bungalow at the side, a little construction site here, and I've put in a few props, and then a house. And we've actually got this road here, because what I wanted this to be some kind of bypass. So this might bridge over here and it might join back up to this roundabout maybe. I'm not too sure yet where that's actually going to join back up to. But I really wanted to get that in. And obviously the main thing that we've been doing today is getting in our park. And do you know what guys? Parks in the UK, they are simple. You know, most parks in towns and villages, they are not, they are pretty, but they're not amazing. You know, they're quite simple. And I think that's what we've got. We've got, you know, this like simple car park, a simple building, you know, like a really simple football field. I tried to get in some lines and like some football markings, but nothing was showing through the grass decal, and I quite like this decal here. So I haven't bothered with that. I don't know about this area here. Do we need to get something in this little triangle here? I'm not too sure. We've got this little basketball court over here as well, which I was quite happy about. And then over this side we've got in this little playground, which again I was really happy about. And again I just need to fill it in here with a few bushes and a few bits and bobs. Yeah, so I was pretty happy with how this turned out. What we're going to be doing is next episode we're going to be coming over this side of our small town over here. And I'd really love to get in our train station. So that's going to be our next episode. And we'll be focusing on this side of the city and getting in a train station over here by our small bus station, bus depot here. So really looking forward to that. We've got some great assets, some great mods to show you when we're building our train station. I really hope you have an awesome day. I really hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much for watching the video guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel down below if you haven't done so already. And please feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Have a great day. See you later.